Well, it's happening. I'm finally doing it. Welcome to episode 1 of the Body Ally Movement podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Body Ally. So here I am, Carrie Nygaard. What have I been doing? Who am I? Well, I am a food and body peace coach. What does that mean? It means that for the last several years, I have been helping women overcome their struggle with food and with body and find a place where they can be in alignment with their God-given gift, which is their body. I'm doing this by rolling out a movement called the Body Ally Movement. But before I talk about what this movement's all about, I want you to understand where I'm at right now as I'm speaking to you, and then also where I've been and how I got to this point, because I didn't set out to be where I am today. God had a plan for me to get there, and I just want to present to you the facts as they are. So from the time that I was really young, about 8 years old, I remember thinking there was something wrong with my body, that I needed to hide different parts of my body, that somehow my body was shameful. And then around the age of 12 or 13, I went on my first diet. And I would continue to go on and off dieting all throughout my growing up years, into my young adult years, into my childbearing years. And it wasn't until the year about 2015 where I had just had it. I wanted to be done. What did I want to be done with? I wanted to be done going up and down in my weight. I wanted to be done with all of the food chatter thoughts in my head. See, I thought that I was being plagued with all these thoughts about food, what I should eat, what I couldn't eat, what I would have to do in the day to keep myself from eating the foods that I wasn't supposed to eat. Always thinking about my days in terms of today's a good day or a bad day based upon what I did or didn't eat that day, or the amounts that I ate or didn't eat that day. And I just wanted the brain chatter to stop. See, I had lost the baby weight again for the 5th time, but I still was plagued with all of these brain chatter thoughts around food. And I couldn't get them to stop. I was just bogged down by this type of thinking. And so I remember talking to my husband and talked to him about it, and I had decided I was going to stop. I was a certified personal trainer. I had all this certification in nutrition, and I was where I was supposed to be weight-wise again. I'm air quoting that because my thinking was just so stooped in diet mentality. I'm going to get more into that here in a minute. Is that I thought that all of this brain chatter thought was a result of a weakness on my part. I thought that all the years of dieting occurred because I couldn't get my act together. This is so counterintuitive, or this is what we think, but actually when we learn some things about our brains, this becomes counterintuitive. Anyway, I don't want to get off track here, but I decided that I wasn't going to go into dieting anymore, and I wasn't going to care anymore, and that perhaps I might even actually gain weight, but so be it. I just needed my mind to be clear and think about other things besides food. And as a prayerful person, I went to God in prayer. And I remember where I was kneeling. I was kneeling next to my bed, my husband and I's bed, and we were in this rental home. And we were looking for land to build a home someday, having a heck of a time trying to find some land. But I knelt there and I just poured my heart out to God. And I thought that he would send me feelings of peace, feelings of kind of like, well done, Carrie. You finally arrived to this place of, putting down your vain ways or whatever. But that was not my experience. Instead, what came into my mind were the words, keep going, Carrie. And I was like, what? Keep going? Didn't you just hear everything that I just said? And they said, no, keep. And then it came again, keep going, Carrie. And I thought, oh, I don't want to keep going. I don't want to count another calorie. I don't want to be working out to punish my body. I don't want to be thinking about food anymore. But it came twice, keep going. So I thought, well, there's something here for me. He can't possibly mean the way I've been doing it, but there's something here for me. So I got up, and then in the days and weeks, months, and even years that followed, the information, inspiration, and mentors came into my life that then freed me from all those years of being in a battle and in a struggle with my body and with food. What did my battle with food look like? Well, I was always thinking in terms of I'm either on or off a diet. I'm either foods are allowed, or certain foods are allowed, or they're not allowed. I was always thinking in terms of scarcity. It was like feast or famine. I would restrict and count my calories all week long, and then I would binge on the weekend and not be able to stop. And then I'd have to start all over Monday. Or I'd start the day really good and then end the day really bad. And so this could be on a week scale. It could be on a day scale where I would restrict and binge. I just wanted to be done with it. See, I didn't know it then when I had given my prayer, but I was in a battle with my body. I thought that if my body could just be the way I wanted her to be, that life would be so much better. And that was kind of covert. It was definitely a toxic relationship, but it was like, I appreciate my body. I appreciate these children that I've been able to bear, and I appreciate that I can, hike and run and be active. But if my body looked like this and could wear this size and weigh this amount, then I would really be all in on her, and my problems in life would be solved. That was the type of way that I was thinking. So it was a little bit more covert. Oh, I appreciate her, but if she would be different, then it would be so much better. And if we were to take this type of thought pattern and apply it to a relationship, say with a child, you're great, but if you would look like this or be like this, I would love you so much more. I would be all in on you. That's it's so toxic, but we don't see it in relation to our bodies or to ourselves. Soon after this experience, maybe a week, within the month, I was standing in that master bathroom, looking in the mirror, and I was trying to reframe the way I looked at my body, because God said keep going, but he couldn't have possibly meant the way that he intended. And I started following different people online, trying to think about things differently, trying to find information differently. I started learning about brain science. And then, within maybe a year or two after that, I started learning about thought work and other things that I'm going to go all into in this podcast. But the most pivotal aha that I received at the very beginning is the foundation of this whole Body Ally movement. And it's this: I was standing in front of the mirror, and usually at this point, if I would be like picking my body apart, I would be thinking, oh, if this would be different or this part would be different, then I would look so much better, and that's how it should be, and I'm not where I should be, and I would just kind of pick my body apart. But I wasn't doing that today. Instead, I was just really curious, trying to figure out what it was that God wanted me to get out of this. He said to keep going, so I'm going, but there's got to be something different here. So I was just trying to see things in a whole different way and just being really curious. And this curiosity really opened up the doors for me to have this aha moment. And after I was looking at my body, and instead of picking her apart, I just was looking at different parts of my body, just out of curiosity, just trying to see my body differently. And then I rested my gaze into my eyes, and I realized that there was a light in my eyes. And when I saw the light in my eyes, I had this spiritual aha moment. That's who I am. This light that I can see within my eyes, that is who I divinely am. And this body is not me, but it is my vessel in this life. Meaning everything that I had been taught in Sunday school growing up, that God gave you a gift and your body's a gift, and this body is a temple, and that this body houses your spirit and the Holy Spirit. I knew all that and I believed that, but when it came to losing weight and all this diet mentality that I didn't even realize I was caught up in, that there was a disconnect. I didn't think of my body as not myself. I thought of my body as me actually. And that if my body didn't look a certain way, weigh a certain amount, then I wasn't what I was supposed to be, not where I was supposed to be. Have you ever done that, where you got on the scale and thought, not where I'm supposed to be, not who I'm supposed to be? And when you do that, you live in a constant state of self-rejection. And when you're living in a constant state of self-rejection, you're rejecting the present moment. It causes a heightened survival response that's going to lead to anxiety and worry and confusion, which is so much of the emotions surrounding this diet culture that women are in. And when I realized that my body is not me, I began to look at her differently. And I realized the light in my eyes, that's who I am. But my body is what's allowed for me to be here. And then I began to realize, oh my goodness, there is not one moment of time that I have not experienced any joy or happiness or pain, any beautiful experience I've had in my life or relationship I've had in my life, any good thing that's come to me in my life would not have been possible except for my body. And that without my body, I wouldn't be able to be here on this earth, traveling throughout time among the living. And that not only that, but that there is no pain that I've experienced that she did not also experience right along with me. Realizing that I am not my body was a pivotal moment. I knew and was taught for my whole life that as long as I can remember that at some point everybody dies and their body stays here on earth and then they go back to their maker, their creator. But I always thought of my body as related to my health or weight loss as that I changed my body in an effort to become more acceptable. And that the closer I can get to looking at this beauty standard, then the more acceptable and confident I got to feel. It was this low-key kind of covert form of body worship, and I didn't even realize it. But when I realized that my body is my most important friend in this life, that it's through her that I'm able to come to any experience in my life, that she's my vessel and she's my home, and that I can talk to her and express love and appreciation to her, and that stored energy on her body is not a problem, but a preference. And I know that saying that can feel really uncomfortable to some people, especially maybe even if you hold enough stored energy on your body that it causes different other health issues for you or pain or ailments in your joints. I'm not trying to disregard that. But what I'm saying is that your body is fulfilling the measure of her creation in every single moment, regardless of the amount of stored energy that is on your body. Your body is fulfilling the measure of her creation. Not only that, but that your body, she continues to show up for you in every single moment. She's exactly where she's supposed to be in this moment, and so are you. We think that just because we're not where we would prefer to be in terms of our health, that somehow the current state is wrong. And then we go about feeling like that we're lost or that we haven't arrived, and that if we could just get to where we wanted to be with our health, then we can finally feel all the ways that we wanted to feel in this life. And that's just not true. Just as a baby, when a baby is born with the capacity to walk, it is not born walking. It has to first learn how to hold its head up, to roll over, to sit up, to pull itself up, and then begin to learn the muscle chain of movement and balance in order to put one step in front of the other. And then even then, those babies will fall and hit their heads and they'll be battered and bruised. I know, I watched it with my 6 children. That is what is to be expected when a child learns to walk. And we don't think that a newborn baby is wrong or not in the right place because they're not walking. We know that they have to learn and grow into it. Similarly, just because you have different health goals does not mean that where you are at is wrong. It's part of the process of becoming and learning. And if you think the present moment is wrong, then you're rejecting part of the process, and then it makes it almost impossible to get to where you're wanting to go in terms of whatever health goal that you have. Your body's keeping you alive in every moment, and you actually are keeping her alive. Without you, your body would not be alive either, and you wouldn't be here on this earth without her. This is a symbiotic relationship. There's no escaping each other in this life. She is your most important relationship aside from God when it comes to living, because without her, you aren't living. She chooses you in every moment. Her heart is beating for you. The lungs are inflating for you. She's here in every single moment to house you so that you can be here among the living. And now I invite you to choose her, which is where I've arrived in right now. So in the months and even years that followed that tearful prayer that I had, and also that big aha moment in my bathroom, I was able to begin to feel my body so differently. I began to dress her differently. I didn't get on the scale to see if I could wear a fitted shirt that day. I would just put the shirt on and saw if it felt well. I didn't eat in terms of trying to change her, trying to manipulate her. I'm going to feed her these foods and therefore she better change. No, I began to see her as my partner, that she truly is a gift. I began to accept her as the gift that she is. I want you to think in terms of if our body is a gift and God intends us to accept her as a gift, what does that look like? What does it look like to choose to accept this gift that God has given you? Well, you're going to feed her from a place of allowing her to feel well and to operate well. So the way I began to feed her changed as well. When you can look at your body and realize that she is not you, but that she is your vessel, and that she's truly the thing that has been benefiting so many things in your life. There is no relationship that you would have in this life if it were not for her. There is no joy that you would not have experienced in this life if it were not for her. And she's been supporting you through all the hard times as well, and all the pains she's experiencing right along with you. And so when you come to this place, pursuits of health are not from a place of trying to earn worth. They come from a place of expression of love and appreciation. It's an act of love to care for your body. And so I come to the Body Ally movement statements. I am not my body. She is my vessel. I commit to no longer battle with her. I accept my body as the gift God intended. I am done measuring my worth by numbers, sizes, or worldly standards. I honor and align myself with my body's wisdom. I pursue health as an act of love, not as proof of value. I choose love over punishment, grace over grind. I reclaim the partnership with my divine body. I am her ally. And now I invite all of you to come into this Body Ally movement, to no longer battle with your body, but to become an ally to her, to become aligned with her in purpose, to become aligned with her in your pursuits. When you pursue health goals in partnership with your body, it feels good. The journey feels like a celebration. It feels like a kind place. It becomes a settling in, no longer gearing up or buckling down to some big change. It actually feels like coming home. It becomes a settling in, where you're choosing food choices from a place of abundance and gratitude, not from a place of I can't and I should and all those things. So the very first thing as we come into the Body Ally movement here on the Body Ally podcast is I want to invite you and send this podcast out to other women as well, so you can invite them to come to this place where they accept their body as the gift that God intended. To no longer battle with this God-given gift, but to become in alignment with her. When you do this, pursuing any health goal becomes sweet. The person who enjoys walking will always walk further than the person who does not enjoy it. So if you enjoy the journey with your body from this kind place, it feels good. Women that I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot of women, I have lots of free online workshops. I've probably about 50,000 women have come to those, and I've brought over 1,200 women, last time I looked, it's more now, but well over 1,200 women through a program that I created, a method to be able to create this partnership and to change your relationship with your body and food so that it feels like a settling in. So you're able to attain to these places without triggering all of the survival responses around food. And what do I mean by survival responses around food? I mean that you think that you may think that you have a food problem. You may think I have out of control behaviors with food, or I have a grazing problem, or a binging problem, or an overeating problem. All of those quote unquote problems that you think you have are not actually the problem. They are a symptom of the problem. And so the first problem we need to address in order to be at peace with food and with our body is to create this body partnership. It's the foundation. It's the core of everything I teach, and everything else is appendages to it. Is that your body is not you. At some point you'll die, but you will exist outside of your body, but your body's a gift and it's your vessel. And depending on what your beliefs are around the resurrection, you will choose her again. So what does it look like to choose her now in this life as the gift that God intended? I'm so excited for this Body Ally podcast. Stay tuned for ensuing episodes. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.